Pheladi,
Uh-huh.
when I say nothing works but the people,
Yes.
what comes to mind?
That's a difficult one because, okay, wait.
Okay, don't freak out. This is very much Nothing Works But the People. This is a bonus episode, so things are working a little bit differently. For one, I have my co-producer Kabir Jugram with me on the episode, and we're going to have a big old yap this episode. Secondly, we are recording this in a very soundproof, kitted out recording studio. The Pod Place is a podcast studio owned and run by the Wits Center for Journalism. To find out a little bit more about making bookings, our exact rates, and how to get yourself a session, go to wits.journalism.co.za. Now, let's get back to the episode at hand and give Kabir a chance, guys. I promise he's legit.
Welcome, everybody. This is Nothing Works But the People with Pheladi Sethusa. Woo, yeah.
There's
Hey,
applause, actually.
hey, press that button. Applause. Nothing works but the people. I am Kabir. Welcome. Pheladi,
Uh-huh.
when I say nothing works but the people,
Yes.
what comes to mind?
That's a difficult one because, okay, wait, let me not. People working is what comes to mind. Only people working. And I suppose that's where the title comes from. Like the fact that I think so much is broken, not in just our society, but in the world. And we just keep going, keep showing up, keep making the wheels turn. What comes to mind for you?
What comes to mind for me is the idea that like the workforce holds up society, even if society is breaking. There's a lot of socialism in that, you know, and Marxism, but I'm not gonna.
You're not going to get into that right now.
But I think of Marxism.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. And that's the idea. Okay, so that's why the show is named that. Okay, so first of all, this podcast is dropping on Workers' Day. Kabir, as a little quiz question.
Come on.
You love a quiz.
Things don't change.
Things do not change. Okay, I love a quiz. You do not love a quiz.
Pheladi was my lecturer for context, and she always used to make us do quizzes. And now I'm a fully employed man, and I'm still doing quizzes.
But those quizzes are good. So they're general knowledge quizzes, pub quizzes I did randomly, and my students hate them.
Yep.
Yeah. But why do you hate them?
It's just because it catches you off guard, and they're like, what if I get 0 out of a whole 0 out of 10? That's like,
yeah, and it happens.
But let's
the
do
best
this.
of them.
Okay. I'm locked in.
Okay,
Let's
so
do this.
Workers' Day. What do you know about the origins of the holiday?
Origin of Workers' Day.
Mm.
So it's the 1st, it's the 30th. The Workers' Day is the 1st of May.
Well done.
Yeah.
You got the date
There you
right.
go. We got the date. That counts for half a mark in my opinion.
Okay, half a mark.
Workers' Day. I think it has something to do with striking and unions. Oh my God, I don't know. I don't know the origins of Workers' Day, I'll be honest.
Okay.
You couldn't ask this about Freedom Day. That's like an obvious one.
That is an obvious one. Okay, when do you think it emanated?
I
If
would
you had to
say
think historically.
during the when did the Durban riots happen? In the 60s?
In South Africa. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, is Workers' Day a South African thing?
It's an international
It's an
holiday.
international thing. I didn't know that. I thought it was a South African holiday. Crazy. Because we love
One
public
would
holidays.
think that, yeah.
Okay, then if it's international, I would say probably it starts with the Industrial Revolution. So when was that? Like late 1890s, early 1900s?
So what's your guess? Just tell me what your guess is.
I would say 1890s.
Okay, you're off by about 4 years. So the first Workers' Day was celebrated on the 1st of May in 1886.
That's correct in my opinion.
And I mean, you're kind of right. It was about workers' rights. And at that point, they were fighting for the 8-hour work day. So yeah, you're kind of on the money. But also how crazy it is to think that we still have the 8-hour workday 140 years later.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It needs to change.
Like change like less hours? Like,
Yes.
how many hours do you think would be ideal?
Okay, there is scientific evidence
Wait, let's go.
that shows that people are only productive for like 3 to 4 hours a day.
That is
like
true.
Actually productive and making stuff that makes sense, saying things that make sense. The rest of that time is dilly-dallying. So if we were doing 4-hour days, I would say 4 times a week. That's enough.
Yeah.
The thing is, just think about your workday. You clock in. Okay, actually, you don't clock in. You have a very atypical situation.
Yeah.
What do you do in like?
What's my job?
Yeah. No. Well, you're obviously okay. Yeah. What is your job? Other people don't know.
So can I shout out my company?
You can.
Shout out Radio Workshop. I work for Radio Workshop. I'm an audio producer, journalist, and researcher.
Okay, and what does that mean?
It means I work online, like completely online. Now I'm playing. It means that I make stories, like audio documentary stories. That's where the journalism comes in. I do kind of similar stuff to what I did with you for this story, for this series. Like I help people source their characters. I help people get in touch with like experts if they need. I kind of do like the background research for stories, you know, to help like create like focus statements, angles, wada, basically.
Okay, great. And you're doing all of this remote?
Yeah.
And how does that work? What's your kind of, how do you build a routine, or do you just take each day as it comes?
I think like if you want to, or for me personally, like if I don't have a routine, then things just get like messy, because the thing is, it's kind of like university in a way, where it's like no one's going to like, you know, be there like holding you accountable. You're kind of accountable for yourself, and if you miss your deadline, dog, you miss your deadline, and then you got to deal with the repercussions. So like it's kind of like whatever gets you to a point where you can consistently and always meet those deadlines, do whatever. So it could be like you wake up at like 8 a.m. and you go straight to work, like you do the 9 to 5, which is what I do. I act like it's a 9 to 5, so I work from 9 to 5. But some people will like, because you know, some people aren't morning people or daytime people, so they'll like mess around during the day, and then at night they'll work till like 2 a.m. So it really is flexible like that. All you really have is to guide you is this is due then.
So you're saying you keep to a daytime schedule?
Yeah, I think I keep to a 9 to 5 just because I need routine. Like I'm one of those people, you know. So then like I know like, okay, if I wake up at this time, I do this at this time, then I start my day at 9. And it's also like, because when you work from home, it's hard to have work and personal life separation because it's all in the same space. And having it like from 9 to 5, this is working hours. After that, then it's like, you know, it makes it easier to create that separation. So that's why I do it.
And you don't live alone, hey?
Nah, I live at home.
So do you have a dedicated space, or is your room, your office and your room everything?
If I work in my room, then I used to work in my room all the time, and that's like really bad for like, you know, mentally, because then there's no separation. Because I believe in the idea that like your mind and your body need like, you know, your mind associates the outside world around it with, creates associations basically. Yeah.
Okay, so you have a dedicated workspace, and when you leave it, you leave work for the day.
Yeah, like I have a rule, like I don't touch my bed until the work day is done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't take naps?
I'd never take naps. I can't take, because naps don't make sense, because it's like a small sleep, and it's like I want to sleep like proper. And I just get frustrated when I wake up like, yo, I wish I could sleep properly.
Kabir, I'm shocked.
Controversial.
Very controversial. I love a nap. Naps are so, like, it's so invigorating when you're at the lowest part of the day. So you just keep going, no matter how you feel.
Thug it out.
No.
Smoke a guai, get back to it. That's
Okay, fair. I do not endorse that message about naps, by the way. Naps are very productive.
So you come into like the office, you come to visit stuff. You can't nap.
Okay, so I have to be careful about what I say.
Okay. Moving on.
You know, unemployment. So last year, February, I got onto Substack because I was tired of the internet.
The healthy internet.
Yeah, and I come from that age where you had like a Tumblr and a Medium, and
You were a Tumblr girly.
I was.
Yeah, now you give Tumblr girly. I would lie.
Right?
Yeah, you do.
Is that a compliment?
Yeah, for sure.
I had 2 Tumblrs. I had one for my photography and one for my words. Like, it was just a safe place to practice and speak out loud and have people engage with your work outside of, I don't know, a journal or wherever else, because the internet is not a safe place these days.
Yeah.
So I got onto Substack because I was looking for that kind of engagement again. And then Sonkem Smang, I don't know if you know her, but she's prolific in the South African and international context, I suppose. But so she wrote this Substack about going to interview people at a play who had to like not act out, but do a shift of work on stage. And I was like, what? That sounds so interesting. And I looked up the play, and it's called 12 Last Songs. And it's put on by this theatre group called Quarantine. And essentially they do that. They get a bunch of different workers to come and do a shift of their work on stage, whatever that work is. So you could be a hairstylist, a painter, whatever, right?
So, sorry, wait, are these like actors or are these actual people who... Oh, that's really cool.
So that's the allure of the whole thing, that it's not a performance in that way. It's real people coming to... So we could have been on the stage doing a podcast episode, for instance, right? But the thing is, you have to do it from... I think it's midday till midnight. And then you have a panel of speakers who ask you questions throughout the shift. They rotate and ask about 600 questions, which is bananas.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that idea is what got me thinking about this podcast. I was like, okay, I'm not going to get to ask people 600 questions, but I could spend time with people at their actual jobs and kind of simulate that on-stage experience in the real world, and without the kind of performative element.
Yeah, I was going to say it's more candid, right? Because they're actually like at work.
At work, yeah. The everyday grind is super interesting to me, so I wanted to try and document that in my own way.
Ooh, I have a question then.
Yes.
So with all the episodes that you did, which one was like the most interesting? Like, what did you look at about, like, you know? Yeah.
So there's 2 answers to that. There's like the most interesting shoot and then the most interesting edit, like in the end.
So like the most interesting shoots, like the most interesting like experience you had there, and the edits the most. Okay, yeah.
So I would say...
I think I know which the edit one would be, but okay, yeah.
Well, tell me.
I think it's the bus drivers.
The edits?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. No, I'm thinking most challenging. Most challenging?
The edit, I mean, all the edits were challenging, child. Like, I had no time for this. So, and by no time, I just mean like I had to turn these things over in like a day or 2, which was bananas. So I would have loved to have more time and think about things, move things around a bit more. But anyway, my favorite shoot was definitely the bus drivers. My favorite shoot. And it's kind of counter to the way I live. So I'm very much a night owl. Like I said, I hate waking up early, love my sleep. So waking up at like 3 to go to those shoots was a bit much, but I enjoyed it so much. So the Putco one, I had to be at the depot at around 4. So I woke up at 3, left Pretoria, drove in the dark, and there were maybe 2 traffic lights that worked on the way there.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So
where is the Putco, like?
The depot?
Yeah, the depot.
It's in Dobsonville.
Dobsonville.
Yeah.
So we're from Pretoria to Dobsonville.
Yeah. I used to, when I was a journalist, dread early calls. Like, they were my least favorite thing to do. They gave me anxiety. But for this, it was like I woke up super invigorated, because it's that whole thing of like a challenge of your own making isn't really a challenge because you want to be there. You know what I mean? So I was so excited to be up that early. I made my little smoothie, and yeah, it was like the depot was alive. because all the bus drivers and all the other different staffers come and park their cars there, get their cars ready. I'm sure you would have heard in that Telefuna, like he wipes his car down and he does the air, like releases the air and all of that, checks his tires. And then it's such an efficient system of how they all like get going and like do their sign out sheets, and it's very orderly, and it was like its own little world, you know. And then just being on the bus, so I sat by him and watched like all the passengers come on, interact with him, watch like how he's so laser focused, he speaks to no one, plays no music, well, not speaks to no one, but just like the general hi, but he's not listening to anything on the side. He really wants to be focused, would like honk to greet other drivers. And I just really enjoyed it. And also like getting to see Soweto at sunrise like that was really special. So yeah, I loved those shoots. And then in Tshwane, I got to wake up a little bit later, thank God. I maybe left home at about 5 or 6 for that one, so it wasn't as early. But also because it's BRT, they start a little later because it's operating in the city and not coming from kind of ferrying people outside into town. But also really, really cool shoot. Like maybe the thing is I just love people watching in general. So even though like I could only record sounds and not a lot of our interview or chatting happened while we were driving, just watching people was super fascinating to me. I love doing that. So bus drivers, definitely my favorite shoot. My favorite edit. That's a tough one. Because is it my favorite thing for me to edit or my favorite episode?
Ooh.
Because those are different things.
Yeah. I'd say your favorite episode.
Okay, my favorite episode. Ooh, that's... I will say the teachers.
Same. That's also mine.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Obviously, I have a soft spot for teachers, as I said, because like almost everyone in my family was a teacher. Mother's a teacher. My like aunts are teachers. Three of them are teachers. I'm a teacher. Bestie's a teacher, and I think teachers are so underappreciated in our society. And yeah, and I loved how candid both of my teachers were.
I was gonna say, like, when I heard them, when I was like transcribing the episode, I was listening and I'm like, yo, they like, even they say like, do you plan to stay in this job? Nah. And I'm like, damn, like how, for me, like, was it something that you had to like, you know, get them comfortable to do, or they just like that? Because I suppose one's a drama teacher, so
she is a little bit more
expressive and zesty and whatnot. But yeah.
Do you know what the beauty is? And that's why I'm so adamant about the way I recorded just on a normal Zoom recorder. And I didn't mic anyone up. Like I could have plugged in a lapel and put it on someone for better sound. But the thing is, people forget that it's there. So I think the way I recorded was really helpful because it's also a very unobtrusive piece of equipment that you can just put on a desk and go about your day. When we weren't sitting, I would just hold it in my hand and it picked up what it needed to pick up, which is why I think I privileged editing for the ear. And by that, I mean I edited for someone listening quite intimately with headphones. It's not the kind of thing you should listen to when you're driving in the car or in a big open room. You won't hear the underlying sounds. You won't hear some of the other sonic Easter eggs that I've dropped in. And it also maybe is just people have a lot to share about their work and maybe aren't asked in the same way or at the same level or in the same detail all the time. So they were just happy to be like, oh yeah, this is how I do X, Y, Z and this is why. And then you remember, like so many people were reminded of, oh my God, this was my training. And I remember when I first went to that conference or this whatever. So it provided, I suppose, an avenue for reflection for them as well, which is why they were so giving.
You think also because it's like a way of like appreciation for the job they do, you know, because like who's going to stop and, for example, ask a bus driver about their day? or like their job. I don't know. Do you think maybe that plays a part?
Hey? But yeah, the interviews were really not difficult in that sense, in terms of like getting people to be vulnerable and open. There were only 1 or 2 times where someone maybe wasn't comfortable with a question, and those were around maybe like the company they work for in particular, or like speaking to a particular monetary amount when it came to pay. But I think that was to be expected, and I worked around it well enough in every instance. I was expecting people to be a bit more guarded about money, but I didn't find that, which was nice as well, because I don't know, we still have that thing in society that you shouldn't talk about your money out loud.
Yeah.
No one should know how much you're making, so they can't, make deductions about your life, blah, blah, blah. But I think being armed with that information is so important and helps other people negotiate better, make better decisions in their lives. So I think sharing that kind of stuff is really important. Okay, so I mean, from listening, what have you learned about remuneration in South Africa?
Ooh, about remuneration, like pay. Yeah. That a lot of people are dissatisfied with how much they make. And also kind of like, I realized like, I guess I learned this mainly from like, okay, I learned this off the bat listening to the architects. That like, okay, a figure is like when you look at a number, right? It's like, let's say someone makes like, I don't know, 20K or something like that. You could look at that and be like, oh, nah, that's, a decent bit of money. But then when you hear people go into detail about like, okay, yeah, sure, that's 20K, but wada. It's like, oh, okay, like how much you get paid, whether that's, is fair the right word? Because that's a whole different debate, whether it's fair or not. But like, whether that's adequate or not is really dependent on the person, I find. I don't know. And also, I just found that lots of people are not really happy with how much money they make. Because, I think like with the architects, like I think like, for example, like with, I'm so bad with the names. But the one guy who runs his own firm.
So it was Steven and Masiki.
Steven, I think. Steven. No, Masiki runs his own business. Steven's a lecturer. They both do, right? Okay, yeah. And they was both saying like, if I'm running my own business, right? And I remember Steven was complaining about renewing the license for
their programming.
And I'm like, damn, I didn't think it was that deep,
It is that deep when it's 70,000 rand.
Yeah, I didn't know that because I don't have I don't know about these things. So I'm like, oh my God, that's really expensive. So it's like, okay, that's what I mean by like, you could hear we have this amount of money and be like, that's fine. But then you find out that license is 70K a year and you're like, oh, okay. So yeah, I realized like even what you were saying earlier about, knowing about how much people get paid, right? And it's like we make assumptions like, okay, if you get paid this amount, that means you're living this type of life, right? Then it's like, oh, actually, maybe not, Maybe it's dependent on a whole bunch of different things. Yeah.
So, I mean, did you learn anything from that you could apply to your own life?
Ooh. Give me a raise. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I think I paid you fairly.
Not you.
Oh.
If anyone who wants to hire me for freelancing, pay me more money.
But then you also just have to increase your rates.
Yeah. Fair. I think, look, for me, I won't lie. It's maybe like, because I don't live by myself, so my expenses are much less. Like, I pay for my car, I pay for my phone. But like, it's like I don't have a lot of, intense, because I have the privilege of I can still stay at home and, with my parents and stuff. So I guess maybe for right now, no, because I know my expenses, they're not that much for now, and that's a blessing. But for the future, I guess, where it's like, I'm trying to think, what could I apply to my life in the future? I guess scrutinize the number on the page more and kind of fit it more into, okay, what is my life? where does this number fit? Instead of just being the number on the page, where does this fit into the bigger picture of what my life is? You know?
Okay.
I don't know if that really makes sense.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think it was in the episode about bus drivers. I spoke about what an ideal living wage is in South Africa. I think I said it's like 14,000 Rand, somewhere there, 15,000 Rand. Considering what you've heard about all the different things people are paying for, all the different salaries that people have, do you think that's a fair and adequate living wage?
Yeah. Yeah. No. I think if someone wants to live their, be able to maximize their potential and be able to live a life where they can not necessarily be prosperous and wealthy, because I guess I'm kind of excluding that from the equation of being wealthy, right? In terms of being comfortable and getting by and being able to let's say, we were talking about lots of people want to study and continue their studies. Nah. Because it's if you got to pay your rent and let's say you got to pay for food, water, electricity, what. And then on top of that, you got to, where's the money to go and study after that, And those types of stuff are important for people's personal development, right? So if it's to live a fully, what's the word? A fully, prosperous, not necessarily in a material wealth.
Fully actualized.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you actually want to self-actualize, then nah. Not at all. I don't think so. Especially if I'm thinking with a bus driver, because I think at some point you did mention how much they make. Or am I thinking of another episode?
So there's a scale.
Yes, there is a scale.
The one said just over 14, so just over that living wage mark. And then obviously because experience counts a lot in their industry, Ntate Lufuno, his 20 years means something. So he's... he wouldn't say the exact figure, but he said it's above 20, but less than 30 kind of thing.
Yeah. I think with that, right? Okay, yes, that's about them. But then I guess I also kind of look at it in the, compared to other jobs, bigger picture type stuff.
He also has 7 kids.
Oh, there you go. I was going to bring that up now. He has 7 kids, right? So it's okay, yeah, sure. Even if he's making 25K, you have 7 kids to pay for. That's, that's not enough money for that, quite, yeah. Also, I think it's kind of it's interesting to note that, there's some jobs, especially now as we move into an online type of space, especially with white collar work, right? Like a financier and stuff, the way they get paid. Well, I haven't heard the finance episode, so I don't know did they say how much they get paid?
You will cry if I tell you.
Please, yeah.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
There's definitely no easy job. That's what I've learned during this series, is that from the outside looking in, you have assumptions about what this kind of day is going to look like and what the work might be like. And there's none of that. There's no such thing as this person's just a, paper pusher or a whatever. All work is difficult. In its own way, with its own, intricacies. And I think applying yourself in that way as a human being is always difficult, even if you're very good at it and have 20 years of experience. It demands something of you every day.
Yeah.
I do think people work too much.
Yeah.
From what we heard, people are pushing definitely longer than 8-hour days on average.
Yeah.
Across the board, which was it was sad. Let me not lie.
Yeah.
It was sad.
Because you need a life at the end of the day, Even I think the teacher, the drama teacher, she was saying, she's and then I think she said she has one day, Sundays. Where Sundays is the one day where she can spend time with her husband and stuff like that. And it's damn. You have literally no other time during the week do you have to just live your life and be you. You have literally a singular day. 1 out of 7. That's intense as hell. And even I remember the architect, not Steven, what's the other one's name again? Masiki. He was saying with being an entrepreneur, it's what did he say again? He was saying something about
Like you can't get comfortable.
You can't get comfortable, but also kind of like the stress is just part of the...
Oh, the anxiety.
The anxiety, yes. The anxiety is just part of the thing, and you got to like expect it. I'm like, damn, I don't want that for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like we're normalizing anxiety. And I understand where he's coming from, because with how he describes it, it's like, yeah, I'd be anxious as... Oh, I don't know if I can swear, sorry.
You can.
Yeah, I'd be anxious as fuck as well. You know, if that was what I had to do. And also like, okay, we done the 9 to 5, but now after hours, we got to sort out the books, sort out budget and stuff like that. And then it's like, okay, so it's like work, sleep, wake up, work. And that, always being anxious as well the whole time. It's like, I think that was also really eye-opening for me. It's like, people really do live like, I agree with you. People are really overworked, And yeah, I guess that's a reflection of the economy we're in.
It's so tough, because if people don't do that, there's also the very real risk that you lose everything you have. And that can happen so quickly. So I think there's also that, it's like a survival thing. You have to do it this way to keep what you have, or maintain what you have, or make something, which is really, really scary.
It's also, I guess, like, not a healthy mental place to be in,
We should not be living like this at all.
And maybe we shouldn't also be glorifying it either. Because I guess, like, we kind of call it hustling, right? We call it hustling, like, this guy's a hustler, Which is, like, again, lots of respect and, for the person that can do that. But let's not act like it's good for you, I don't know if Masiki is happy. Like, do you think he's happy?
I didn't ask that, actually.
Or at least, like, when you were there with him, did he look like, when he's talking, like, does he seem like he's like, yeah, nah, I like this life?
The thing is, the reality is there are people who have it worse. And I think...
For sure.
Most of the people we spoke to are aware of that. So there was this baked in, like, gratitude for the fact that, A, they're doing a job that they like, and B, that they're making, like, honest money. And that they, for better or worse, are working in an environment where they have work that is somewhat steady. So I don't know. It's a difficult one, because I remember thinking about this a few years ago, that, like, I don't think the point of my life is to be happy. Like,
whoa, interesting.
Happiness is not the point of me.
I mean, it's also not a constant feeling, like,
no,
you can't always
that's why it can't be the point.
Yeah.
Because it's so inconsistent. Like, obviously, I'm not saying I want to be unhappy, but I just mean I can't be toiling and working for happiness as an end goal in the things that I do. So hopefully it's the same for them, that it's not about, am I happy? Am I fulfilling my personal goals? Am I able to sustain my family? Am I able to do work that is interesting to me? That kind of thing. So happiness, I don't know. Maybe I should add that next season as a question. I asked people if they're happy with their job, and most of them, well, bar for our teachers, said they are. And I think, for the most part, people are happy with what they do. But we've been speaking for a minute. I didn't think we were this yappy.
Yeah, the chatcast makes sense now.
This is how it happens.
This is how chatcasts happen.
This is how they happen. So maybe just final thoughts on what it's been like.
What it's been like?
Yeah.
It's been, okay, I haven't done as much as I thought I was going to do, but nonetheless, I find the idea very interesting. And I like what I've heard so far. And I think it's cool because I really like the type of journalism that kind of hones in on, like, not the big buzzy types of stories, the more Yeah, and I think that's my favorite part about doing this is that you get a real insight into what everyday lives look like, which is the best kind of storytelling to me. And yeah, and then there's going to be the next one, which is, can I say?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this. We've just been talking about the formal sector this whole time, not even including the informal, which is maybe bigger, probably bigger. Yeah. So that's like, damn, what's that going to be like? You know, because that's going to be fucking interesting. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. And I agree. Like, I've had so much fun doing this. I've learned so much. And I've really enjoyed every day I've spent with someone. Like, there was no day that I felt like, oh, this is dragging, or like I'm not gelling with this person. The only kind of, not awkward, but strained shoots were the ones where they were like a spokesperson who wanted to like hang about. And I'm like, this is not how should go. And then you can also see the person like second guessing themselves sometimes, like, can I say this? Should I say this? Because the person's in the room with us. So those shoots are a little bit, tight, but I definitely don't think we'll have that issue in the second season.
I would be very surprised.
Or when we do get around to the informal sector. So that I'm looking forward to, because that's where we're going to see a lot of like the grit and actual survival of being a South African, because people must make a way, and they do. Which is going to be very heartening as well. And yeah, so that's it from us. I hope that's given you some insight into what this podcast is about, the people who make it, our personal philosophies, and what the future holds. Thank you so much for listening.